I'm Aidan Miles, and my Ignite project is on racism in soccer. All over the world, players continue to be harassed because of their skin color. This racial abuse takes forms in many different ways, including racist chants, banners, and signs at the game, and even tweets and posts on social media. According to the BBC in 2018, there are 520 reported incidents of discrimination throughout England's top levels and lowest levels of soccer. The number of reports increased by 30 from the previous year, and a whopping 53% were because of racial discrimination. Racial discrimination occurs in small games as well as the really big ones too. Just look at this guy, defender Jordi Osei-Tutu. He was playing in a second division match in his first game when he was racially abused. He was only 20 years old. Another example, he's a little more famous, is Mario Balotelli. This Italian forward had a very successful career playing in top divisions in England, Italy, and in France. His career was coming to an end, so he decided that he wanted to go back to the team that he first started playing with in Italy, which was Brescia. Recently, he received racist chants, including monkey noises directed at him during a match against Verona. He was angry and punted the ball into the stands and left the field, but eventually came back and ended up tying it with a great goal, 1-1. A few weeks after this incident, he was left out of the team because he had a disagreement with the coach. When there was an interview with the chairman of Brescia, someone asked him about why he wasn't on the team. His response became, what can I say? That he's black and he's working to whiten himself up, and he has great difficulties in this. Balotelli's own chairman of his own team that he grew up playing for made a racist comment towards him. Everyone was outraged because of it. And harassment doesn't just stop because at the stadium gates. Social media continues to play a huge role in racial abuse, and because now fans have the ability to talk directly to players. Platforms such as Twitter and Instagram are the most popular for the athletes to post pictures and videos, and this is where they also get the most hate. Recently in England, forwards Marcus Rashford and Raheem Sterling have received lots of terrible tweets directed towards them, and even accounts were made specifically for them, like their hate. Hiding behind the screen and discriminating people, and these fans will hide behind the screen and they get no punishments for it. So most scenarios, after racial abuse occurs somewhere, teams will come out and say they don't condone this. But then what's next? What do they do after that? They don't do anything. I mean, just look back in October when England traveled to Bulgaria for a spot in the Euro 2020, which is a European tournament. The match was stopped not once but 2 times because the Bulgarian fans were racially abusing, once again, Raheem Sterling and Marcus Rashford. These fans were chanting racial slurs and making Nazi salutes as well. The Bulgarian Football Union and their head coach said they didn't hear any sound, or they didn't hear any noises, even though their own team captain was trying to tell them to stop. The punishment for these heinous crimes were a one-time stadium ban as well as an $83,000 fine. That's it. A one-time stadium ban, you lose profit and you can't sell any tickets. But then what happens after that? These fans will just go right back to their old habits like nothing has changed. This is not a sufficient punishment. Paul Mortimer was a British soccer player from 1986 to 2001, and he now works for a charity called Show Racism the Red Card, which is a UK-based anti-racism charity. In a CNN interview, he explained how he was racially abused almost 30 years ago when he was playing, and how it hasn't gotten any better. He suggested for the Bulgarian-England game that they should be suspended from international play for up to months or even years, missing out on World Cup, Euros, regardless. They shouldn't be allowed to play any games because of what they've done, and it needs to be more severe punishments. In another CNN interview with Liverpool midfielder Jorginho Wijnaldum, he claims that everyone needs to walk off the field if any racial abuse occurs. He says that players should not brush it off and continue playing because then the racist fans would be winning, and then it would also lower standards for how to treat one another. He said his whole team would walk off the field with him, and it needs to be taken more seriously. The standards that Wijnaldum is setting needs to be followed by everyone, regardless of what game is being played. Discrimination is far more important, and players should walk off the field immediately. When it comes to racism in soccer, there's simply no room for it. Yes, teams are trying to take action, but it isn't enough. Players, coaches, fans, and leagues all need to come together to set the bar higher and show how serious this matter is by making punishments even more severe and ending the game if fans act inappropriately. Thank you.